Were you raised a Christian?
I was raised a Christian, yes.
What made you decide not to be one after a while?
Well, some of these black churches are most of the toxic places that you can ever grow up and put a kid in that environment. And so when you put kids in these environments and you see the debauchery, you see the hypocrisy, you see the gossiping, you grow up as a man in these churches, which are very much matriarchal, and you get put down and displaced and put in your place. You see all the monkey simps that are black men in churches. I knew it wasn't a place for me because I was too much of a man to be in those conditions.
And so that's what made you decide not to be a Christian?
No, not a Christian, but it definitely drove me away from the black church.
Welcome, everybody, and welcome to Cultural War. In this particular edition, Jesse is going to be interviewing and debating Coach Greg Adams. He's a men's life coach and a divorce coach. It was very interesting. Jesse actually drilled him, asked him about a lot of topics on men dating and how men should carry about themselves, in the dating scene. He also talked about religion. Very interesting. I'd like you to watch and enjoy. Very educative as well. If you've not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get more videos like this. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video.
Very interesting guest today. I have with me Coach Greg Adams. He is a YouTuber and the author of The Free Agent Lifestyle and De-Evolution. Coach Adams, thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely, Jesse. Good to see you.
So you are a coach, Coach Greg Adams, and on your YouTube channel, what is a coach and how did you become one?
Well, the name Coach Greg Adams came because I was a former college basketball coach.
Oh, okay.
So I coached high school and basketball coach, and that was the name of the channel that had basketball drills and fitness drills, and then I changed the content of the channel and never changed my name. So it just still remained Coach Greg Adams.
Nice. Yeah. And what is free agent lifestyle? What does that mean, and what do you do to make that happen?
Well, free agent lifestyle came from just giving men options to basically navigate the world. Most men are told what to do, and then, of course, they run into some roadblocks or that lifestyle might not fit them. And this gives them some open options to think about applying to their life. And so it is the men's guide to peace, quiet, and freedom, which I think are the essentials that men are chasing: peace, quiet, and freedom.
Right. Should a man look for a woman?
Should he look for a woman? I don't think so. I mean, I've been taught that we should look and chase and approach and all of those things. But I think most of the time, the man that you create yourself to be, the byproduct of that is good woman.
And when you say you don't think he should look, how would he get a woman if he doesn't look for one?
Well, the thing I was saying that, the lifestyle that you create, the life that you make, your accomplishments, your confidence, all of that stuff creates an aura about you that women are going to be attracted to. So then by that particular point, you'll be able to select, or the people that you will be looking for will want to qualify for you, and it'll be a little bit easier. But then you get a chance to select from a group of people who are presenting themselves to you. But I think if you go look for it, most of the time, you're not going to find what you're looking for if you don't complete the person that you need to be.
And what does the average man tell you that he's looking for in a woman?
Well, man, that could range. It could range because I think guys are pretty inconsistent on what they want from a woman. I think, we talk about how women do double talk. Men do the same thing. Men would love a woman who has a nice body, a nice shape, big ample chesticles. They would love all of that. But what ends up happening is they like that for the moment. And then when they go out to the world, they don't want her to show that to the rest of the world. So now you got a problem because you want a freak in the streets or a freak in the sheets and then a nice lady in the streets. And it doesn't work that way. And I think men are ultimately confused at what they actually want from women. They really don't know.
So when they tell you what they're looking for, what do they say they're looking for?
Most of them are going to say low body count. All right. A woman that has not been ran through more times than a Holland tunnel. A woman that has submissive qualities. A woman that listens. A woman that's cooperative. A woman that will allow him to lead.
Should a man date a woman or marry a woman who already have a child or children?
No. Well, I don't know. Well, date would be a waste of time. He could probably mate with her or practice mating, but marry, absolutely not.
And why not?
I don't think any man, especially a man without children under the age of 40, should never even consider dating or marrying a woman with children, because he's going to waste all of his energy and his resources, which we call meat over here, his money, energy, attention, and time. He's going to waste it on someone in someone else's DNA that he gets no benefit from ultimately, when he can create the life that he needs from himself, learn, and then have a woman that doesn't have children. But if you're from the Black community, the odds of you finding a woman without children is slim to none, and slim just died. So if you're a Black male and you strictly are dating Black women, your odds are limited.
Amazing. And so should a man move in with a woman without being married to her?
No, I don't think so.
And why not?
I think there's no benefit from it. I think ultimately, I think the longer you go along with that, he's not going to want to marry her. I mean, what's going to be revealed to him, he'll probably least likely want to marry her, and he'll end up stringing her along, and it's going to be frustrated. But I don't think it's going to be any benefit. Actually, Jesse, one of my principles are no cohabitation with women. All right. So, one of the tenets that I teach is just avoid cohabitating with them, because ultimately, she's going to distract you from becoming a man that you need to be.
Are you a Christian?
I grew up in the Christian church, but I wouldn't say that I'm a Christian. No, because I'm too lukewarm to be a Christian, and I don't believe in lukewarm Christians. So
you're not a Christian?
No, I wouldn't say that today. I wouldn't identify it. No. If I'm filling out a paperwork, I wouldn't check the box.
Do you believe there is a God?
There is a spirituality about me. Yes. I don't know if there is a one God, but I can't prove it.
So do you believe there is a God?
Could be a God.
But you don't believe there is?
I believe there could be a God.
But do you believe there is a God?
I believe that there could be, yes.
How about there is? Do you believe there is one?
No, I can't be certain. No. It's kind of like racism. You can't prove it.
So you can't prove there is a God?
I cannot prove it, no.
And can you prove there isn't a God?
I cannot prove it, no.
Were you raised a Christian?
I was raised a Christian, yes.
What made you decide not to be one after a while?
Well, some of these Black churches are most of the toxic places that you can ever grow up and put a kid in, that environment. And so when you put kids in these environments and you see the debauchery, you see the hypocrisy, you see the gossiping, you grow up as a man in these churches, which are very much matriarchal, and you get put down and displaced and put in your place. You see all the monkey simps that are Black men in churches. I knew it wasn't a place for me because I was too much of a man to be in those conditions.
And so that's what made you decide not to be a Christian?
No, not a Christian, but it definitely drove me away from the Black church. Yeah.
What made you decide not to be a Christian?
The Christians have become weak, man. The Christians have become weak. I think, like I call them on my channel, lukewarm Christians. And so, they're lukewarm. They're cherry picking Christians.
And so that's what made you decide not to be a Christian?
Yeah. There's too much weakness. I mean, look at where we got now. But I mean, listen, I was raised in a church in the 80s. I'm looking at the lukewarm Christians and the cherry picking Christians now. I mean, they're basically spineless, weak, immoral, bowing down to the woman, pedestalizing the woman. They're in the Jezebel spirit. They walk in the spirit of the Lilith demons. They're over there. They're more Samson than they are any level of strength. I mean, the Christians need to be ashamed of themselves. I mean, they're following down and they're bowing down and become the weakest people in this country.
So you saw the weak Christians and you decided not to be one.
I'm not going to be one of them. No, I don't want to identify with weakness. No.
And so why didn't you show the example of what a Christian was rather than stop being a Christian? Let's say you saw the weak ones and you didn't like the weakness. Why didn't you show the example of a Christian rather than deciding not to be? It sounds like you judged their weakness and you decide, I'm not going to be a Christian, instead of being a Christian and showing them what a Christian is like.
Well, I probably thought that because I was a young person when I discovered all this, growing up after 10, 12 years looking at this on a daily basis, I probably decided that I didn't want to be that until they fixed their issues. Obviously, it's gotten worse. I mean, but so at this point, I figure maybe I start my own church and call it whatever it needs to be, as opposed to joining them.
So as a result of turning away from Christianity, are you a better person? Are you a better person now?
I think so. I'm more complete. Yeah.
Really? How can you be complete if you don't believe in a God?
Well, that's all perspective. I didn't say I didn't believe in him. I just said I can't prove that the God exists. But
and so how can you be a better person not knowing that God exists?
Well, if there's a spirituality about the thing, I'm sure that it is God that is leading you.
And so, but you're not sure there is a God, right?
I'm not sure. No.
So how can you be sure that God is leading you?
Well, if there is a God and they put me in charge, he put me in charge, he selected me or he elected me, there's no way he's going to lead me astray. He's going to lead me right back to him, right, Jesse?
So you believe that there is a possibility of a God, and you believe that this possible God is leading you?
Could be, absolutely. I mean, using me as a beacon of hope and light to educate the people, at least call out the lukewarm Christians and get them set back on the right path.
Do you think that God will use you to encourage men to be slut makers, to have sex with different women and to have sex before marriage and all that?
Could be. I'm not sure, because maybe there's a polygamous. Who knows? We don't know where we're going, Jesse. So I got to at least prepare my men to at least test out the marketplace.
Amazing. Are women evil?
Are women evil? They are tempted by evil. Yes. They're easily manipulated by evil. Yes.
And so are they evil?
They're weak to evilness. Yes. They're weak to evil. Absolutely.
And so they are evil?
By virtue of that, yes.
Do women have love?
No.
And why do you say no?
They're selfish.
In what way?
They're selfish in the mindset of everything that they say that they're doing for you, they're really doing for themselves. And men have to figure that out. I mean, they're selfish. I mean, they're saying that they are what the picture that women paint in our society is that they're the moral high ground of relationships and love. And many times what you're seeing is once you awaken, everything that they are encouraging to you only benefits them.
So your father and mother, they were Christian while you were growing up?
Yes.
Were they good example or bad example of Christians?
I would say mostly good, mostly good.
And so if they were good examples of Christians, why do you just follow them and stay with Christianity rather than turning away from it because you saw other people being weak?
Well, I would say as a young man, you're searching for something to give you a little bit better indication of what is right and wrong.
And you couldn't get that from your parents? Your
parents do a good job of influencing you up until your teenage years. But I think they call teenagers young adults for a reason. It's because once they're teenagers, they're young adults and they can form their own opinions, and your parents have less influence on you than they did when you were children.
But if they were that good influence, how was it that another influence can take that away from you if they were good influence of Christianity?
Yeah, man, I don't know, man. I think, we turn our children to the world. We turn our children over to the world, and that's where the influence tends to be.
So you're not sure there's a God, so I would assume that, and I hate to assume, that you don't believe in the order of God, right?
I don't know what the order of God is. I don't know.
The order of God is God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. You don't believe in that order.
That sounds like a traditional order to me, so I'm going to go ahead and say I agree with that. Yeah.
You do agree with it?
I would agree with that, yeah.
So if you agree with that, when you said that men should be having sex with all these different women, otherwise they won't follow them. But if the men were to return to the Father and become right, the women will have no other choice but to follow the man, right?
Follow the strong men, yes.
And so if they're having sex with these women and seeking pleasure, then they're not strong. And if you're encouraging them to seek pleasure, you're encouraging them to be weak rather than strong.
Well, I mean, I didn't say seeking pleasure was weakness. But I didn't say it was weakness. I said it was essential.
Which do you prefer, perfect peace or pleasure?
That's a good question right there. What would I prefer, perfect peace or pleasure? Man, that's a tough one right there. But I'm going to go with perfect peace.
And so why would you would never find that in pleasure? Why not seek peace rather than pleasure? Pleasure.
Well, peace is important. Peace is important, but you know, you also need a peace, if you know what I mean.
What? Nah.
You're also going to need a peace and some pleasure.
So what I've been telling men for the last 30 years or so, 31 years now, is they must be born again of the Father, of God, right?
Yeah.
And so they need to overcome their mothers, because all who are born of the mother are born in sin,
Right.
meaning that they've been turned away from God by their mothers.
Yep.
And so they need to forgive their mothers and forgive their fathers for not protecting them from their mothers.
True.
And return to their natural state of being, which is of God. And then they will have perfect peace within, and then they wouldn't seek pleasure at all, and they can lead women in the right way to go. And then that order will restore itself that we had prior to men falling away from God.
I can agree with all of that. Yes, I think we've been definitely misled on who's the leader and influence. Yeah,
So
I can
why
agree with all
not
that.
teach that rather than weakness?
Well, I didn't say something is weak in particular. As a matter of fact,
But
you
having
know,
sex out of wedlock and having sex with number women and all that stuff is a weakness. It's not strength.
depends on your take on it. I don't see it as weakness per se. It can be weakness, yes, if it's mismanaged. Yes, yeah.
Do you have anger?
Not as much, no. Not as much these days, no.
So do you have it?
What's that?
Do you have it?
Do I have anger?
Yes.
No, not these days, no. I mean, anybody's capable of anything, but most of my life is not filled with anger. No.
But do you have it?
I mean, everybody has it. Yeah.
How about you?
I love Jesse. 100 ways to ask the same thing. And so there's anger in me, yes. But
so you do have anger.
Of course.
I'm sorry?
Of course. Yes.
And did you know that any male that has anger is a female?
You're great at were you a lawyer before this? You're great at the questions, man. I tell you.
I never was a lawyer, but I did. I went to college for 1 year looking for a white woman, and I took a law class, and it was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, well, you're great at you'd be great at cross-examination. I'm going to tell you that, and lead me right. You lead people right to where you want them to go. So you're great at that, and I know that's because I've been watching you, and I knew what to expect. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the interview. I did. I don't know about you, but I did. No matter how much pressure as men we are put under, how much pressure society and culture is becoming so matriarchal, we need to maintain our position. We need to maintain and do the right thing. We need to still be virtuous, keep our focus. Like Jesse said, we should not go out of control. We should not just be reactional. In other words, we should be, we the ones that will still be setting the standards and, keeping our heads up no matter what. As men, we'll always ride over every single challenge because we are made for this. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Drop your comments and your reactions. I'd like to respond to that. If you've not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so, and to help us grow this channel. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.